Ms. Garcia,
Yes.
Ms. Lee,
Yes.
Mr. Lim,
Yes.
Dr. Matarazzo,
Yes.
Ms. Min.
Yes.
Thank you very much.
So you're gonna have audience participation?
I'd like to, on this, to thank the authors of this calendar that we were all given, for the people of Palisades Park. It would be, Mrs. Yoon, Carson, Kim, and Mrs. Shim. It's outrageous. This is a work of art. I mean, I don't know if anyone had the opportunity to see it yet. Fantastic, and I'd like to personally thank them on behalf of the school system.
Any other things to discuss as a new business? Okay, then, audience participation. You have 3 minutes. We're gonna accept all the audience participation first, and then answer wherever you can. Just a quick. Please state your name and address.
Sure.
For the record.
My name is Paul Lee. I reside in 328 Hillside Avenue. My question is to the superintendent. This is regarding the incident that you talked about in your old business statement. Can you currently tell us what the procedure, I'm sure there is one, that is for this situation, which happens often, and what have you found thus far? And what is the actual penalty if you find that the teacher has done something wrong? And do you plan to carry that out? Those are my questions.
Thank you. Next person, I saw the hand over there, yeah.
Me.
Okay. Your name and address.
So I'm Natalie Conoscente, I teach at the high school. So I would actually like to personally, on behalf of the children of Palisades Park High School, like to thank the generous additional contribution that you have stated last month of matching the grant of English language learners closing the communication gap. This will provide students with a first of its kind bi-directional translation via earbuds. Thanks to you, hundreds of students for the first time will not only be able to understand their teachers, but also their classmates. This has been the potential to improve student relationships, academics, psychological, and various other issues, and your willingness to assist makes a world of difference. I would like to truly thank the Board of Education from the bottom of my heart that your extraordinary donation. The obvious dedication to the cause is evident and touching. Upon setup, we would love for you to come visit and see the magic in action. Again, thank you for all you do. Please know that this donation, you are literally changing the course of children's lives. We are proud to partner with you in this endeavor and look forward to continuing this partnership. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for saying
Any other participation? Mr.
Paul
Paul?
Kim, third place. My question is pertaining to the former question that this gentleman made concerning procedures and protocol. My questions are very specific. I would like to definitely, for you guys, specify, don't leave anything behind concerning process, procedures and policies, specifically pertaining to the notification if there is an incident like that happened, if a student is soiled. Who calls who, and who tells them that, who is deemed responsible person to properly communicate with the parent and say, you know what, we have a situation. Who is the also person that says, you know what, we're out of extra clothes, I don't know if you noticed that, but we need more clothes from you. And second question is, I heard that Phil Murphy, authorized an award about close to $800,000 for the development of ECC. My first question is, are you guys aware of it? And if you guys are, what do you guys plan to do with it, and when you guys gonna start using it? Thank you.
And announce it to the public.
Yeah, now some public, absolutely.
Any other comments or question from the board? I mean, the audience, sorry. Okay, oh, yeah.
Hi, I'm here again for my daughter, Sun Lin, 464 Glen Avenue, Pleasant Park. I'm here still waiting for the responses from the board, from the school response I requested last meeting. The last email I got from the board attorney was the final draft is being working on it, and they're waiting for the approval from the board. So I was waiting for the result, and I still didn't hear anything from you. And, like I said last meeting, including, I'm here to speaking out for my daughter, and I don't want anything happen again for any other child, including my daughter. I just wanted to clear that I have a prevention plan from you. I need to resolution from who's responsible for that incident. And I still didn't had a chance to talk to the people who's directly involved that incident. And I understand their position, they're with the union attorney, but I have nobody. And I've been telling the school, I've been working by myself as a mother, and I've been requesting just a teacher and a mother meeting, but constantly rejected. So I still waiting for the responses from you, so.
Thank you. Anybody else, have any, yes?
This is Sujal. As the mom said, I actually since I was in the parent group chatting room, I also received the petition that she sent over. So if, I hope, I believe that you all have read that contents on the petition, and I could see if that is true. If that's true, I would just say there hasn't been any change since I have had the same similar experience before 6 years ago. And then I'm saying it's very different issue. I mean, it's the same issue, but different incidents. I've had actually experience, I don't know, many minutes I was given, but I have a lot of also episodes as well related to teacher, principal, whomever is related to that incident. So I would just want to ask you to clarify all the incident report and who's in charge of and who was there in the communication and all the questions that the mom have given to you. And also, as I also requested last meeting for November, that do you have any corrective action plan after this? And if you have, will you please send out in like public announcements for all the 3 schools in this school district? Just like Dr. Sitter used to send out the paper for the water test results, kind of. So we all need to know. Because this now, even when I participated in the petition, because I have actual experience, I understood her. So that's why I signed for the petition, but still there's a lot of limitation when you reach out to the parents, because we don't know many. I don't have many parents that in my address book or whatever. So I think all parents need to know what's the reality and then what was the truth, which one is wrong. But I want you all to clarify for that. Thank you.
Any other comment or anybody else want to speak up? Okay, then we are closing the audience participation. Anybody want to start first?
I would like to make a motion to close.
Yeah,
I would like to
motion
make a motion
Oh.
to close the audience.
I second.
closed. All in favor? Aye.
So in no specific order, I will do my very best to answer some of the questions on behalf of the board, I guess. And if there are any areas I leave out, whether it be the president or the attorney, they can fill in the gaps. But first and foremost, and again, in no specific order, yes, a petition was circulated
Can you
this
do it
weekend.
in the order and ask me, I mean, there are not that many questions.
So, in all fairness, there is no response necessary, right? As we all know, I don't have to respond to any, so I'm gonna try to accommodate.
Wait a minute.
Please, this is the.
They're closed, right?
It's closed. You could respond like you wish, or you don't have to respond whatsoever. So
Thank you.
please go ahead, whatever you wish.
Thank you. So there was a petition that was circulated this weekend. I received a call from a parent, who identified herself as the child, the parent of the child, the second child identified. She was extremely upset that the child's disability was put on that petition. She went as far to say that she did not consent to have her child's information shared. Regarding the clothing the child was wearing, she accepted full responsibility for the child being sent home in short pants.
Objection, can I
You-
talk to
you
you
can-
for
No,
a
no,
second?
no.
It's my petition,
No,
I
no,
have
no.
a right to say.
No, you
No,
don't.
you
That
You're
is-
gonna have to-
No, you don't have it. I'm sorry, please stop. Let him finish.
The parent advised me that she sent the clothing to school that the child was sent home in. She also advised me that the underwear that was sent to school is currently in her home.
Who's she, I'm sorry, the student?
I'm not gonna entertain
Please
it.
do not deflect the issue, that's not important,
Okay, please,
and it's not true.
please finish your comment. if you want.
And you have to give me an
I'm gonna make
opportunity
it-
to explain
I'm
that
gonna
my
make it really
petition,
simple.
it's my petition.
I'm gonna not answer any.
If you don't wanna speak, you don't wanna speak. Any other board members wanna address this?
Just that we have an amazing faculty, a very professional administration. I've been an educator for probably near 50 years, and I applaud our administration, our faculty, and our staff.
Who's not gonna answer public questions?
Yeah,
Can I speak?
No.
Please.
Do you have anything?
wait, so what is a public participation, why do we even have a public participation? You're not gonna answer our question.
If you, it's okay.
You can say, you know what, we have conflict of interest, we can't speak, or here's your answer. You can't-
Respectfully, he was trying to answer the question.
Okay, that's fine, that's what I'm
But he
trying
was
to say.
being interrupted. So in light of the environment, it's not conducive for him to continue to try and answer the question.
I mean, we are trying to run in the,
As it's
meeting.
proposed, it's-
If anybody keep interrupting it, we cannot do that.
We're sorry, go ahead.
So, if you wanna hear his response
Yes,
of
we
whatever
will.
he
You
was.
started by
Then
saying that
then
I'm
speak.
gonna
Are we allowed to-
answer
Guys,
in
guys,
whatever
come on.
order.
Come on.
Okay, public portion is closed, please. Listen to the response, please don't interrupt. If you choose to respond, please go ahead and do so. If you want to stop, stop.
I will start by saying, if I'm interrupted again, Mr. Lee, we're gonna either end the meeting, or we're gonna ask that you remove anyone that's, causing any conflict. So very simply, as I was stating, a parent who identified herself as the parent of the child claimed that the clothing that the child was sent home in was the clothing she sent to school. In the month of September, she did not realize that the clothing he would be sent home in would be on a colder day. So she is to blame for him going home in short pants. But the clothing that that the child went home in was also inclusive of the underwear that is currently in her home. So she told me, emailed me, and advised me that the information in the petition is false.
Okay, short.
Mr. Lee, if, again, as I said, I'm not gonna continue to answer questions, maybe you can give a warning?
Okay, Dr. Searle, do you want to speak to the issue of recommendations,
Sure.
protocols going forward, please?
So as far as recommendations, it would behoove the Board of Education to trust the faculty who work in this building with these students, not for us to make procedures, but the individuals who are working here, inclusive of a teacher, inclusive of an administrator, and a nurse, to make those procedures and to communicate them in the respective language so there are no barriers of the parent or guardian. Unfortunately, those procedures must be communicated, and in light of this incident, we are going to ask that parents sign off and accept those guidelines. We have a duty for the students in our schools, and that duty is to ensure that they are not neglected at all. I think there was a question regarding a grant that we received in excess of $800,000 and how we were gonna spend the money. In the month of September, we publicly commented on that. We thanked the governor for being here on the day of our board meeting, ironically. We are currently spending that money by way of salaries of staff in this building. It's a program we never had before. It's a program that we are running as we speak. It's a program that the board tonight approved for next year. So the program in its entirety is already up and running. Additionally, there will be improvements to our HVAC solely in this building because the grant can only apply to preschool. So I cannot take those funds and use them in our other schools. So I thank the governor for being here at that time. We did have a list of weighted students because we reached our capacity. There is such a need in this community for preschool. We reached our capacity immediately.
How about my question?
I think your
Simple
question,
question.
I think your question was regarding procedures.
Procedures, what are the penalties, how far you
So I
investigated,
think
what
as a
you
form, I'm
found?
not gonna get into the dialogue.
No, you didn't answer any of my questions.
So you're a former board member. I cannot discuss any discipline to any employees if there was any, sir.
You have a parent that's crying.
But not discipline,
Okay,
Mr. Lee,
asking
if
a
they have
simple
to
question to a
continue-
superintendent. I'll leave myself. If I'm not gonna get answer here, there's no reason for me to be here.
Just for your record, not in policy of Board of Education, the superintendent answer all the questions, most of the questions, because he's more knowledgeable than any other board member.
You didn't answer my question.
What he is saying is that in terms of, just so I'm hearing things, in terms of discipline of the teachers, that's a totally up to him, and he is not supposed to discuss with any other people. That's the law that we know of.
Procedures.
If there is any difference, then you can always talk to our lawyer about that. So that's what he's trying to say. Who said he did not have disciplined the teacher yet or will not? We don't know that. That's his decision, and in case if he does it, he is not supposed to share with anybody else. That's the law. So I understand your frustration, okay? But still, no. There is a rules and regulations that we all have to abide by. We all have to follow by. And then either we like it or not, that's the law, and that's the procedure that we are following it by the guidance of the lawyer. Okay, so he's trying to explain that. Some of our answer, you might like it. Some of our answer, you might not like it. But we are trying to do our best to follow the procedures and rules. That's what I'm trying to say. But again, there might be some answer, you will not like it. But what are you gonna do? That's the rules that we have to abide by. Okay? Now, you wanna answer some of the answers?
I'll comment this much. I serve as a board attorney, and I'll supplement some of the comments that Dr. Cirillo has made and President Kim has made. And normally, things like this are reviewed in private, reviewed with the parents, and it's done at the school level without necessarily the board's involvement. And it's confidential because it precisely protects the identity of the child and protects everybody involved. The district has respected that privacy and has attempted to address that with the parent directly. And although I'm still constrained to respect that need for confidentiality, there are some facts here that I've reviewed, and there are some inaccuracies that I'm still constrained, unable to really reveal. And I was asked to review and investigate this matter from the board very early on, and I did just that. And I initially got involved because there turned out to be an allegation of the child, and I'm not an elected official, I'm not an employee of the district, and I don't represent any part of the teachers union or its members. Instead, I'm the board attorney. And I have no skin in this game, in this situation. And I just reviewed the facts and presented the truth as I saw it. And as a parent of a child in a public school system myself, I think I would be the first to point out any wrong to a child when it comes to abused child. And here I've communicated with the parent directly. I've communicated with the administration. I've reviewed witness statements. Most critically, I've reviewed all the surveillance video that seems to have captured the alleged incident during the entirety of the relevant time. And based on all that I've reviewed, I've concluded here and reported to the board that there was no instance, there was no neglect, abuse, or criminal endangerment concerning the student. And I'll repeat that. There was no child neglect, no child abuse, and no criminal endangerment concerning this child. And if there was any such instance, other agencies, including the prosecutor's office, DCPNP, the New Jersey's Attorney General's office, would currently be involved. And remember, like a doctor, like police officers, like mental health professionals, we as a district, as educators, have a mandatory reporting status. So we have to report to the proper authorities any allegation of such abuse or facts known resulting in such abuse. Here there was none. And I understand referrals were made and the proper authorities were contacted, but none are presently that I'm aware of investigating. I presented my conclusion and recommendations to the board, and we've discussed it for the first time as a board today. And Dr. Cirillo is in the process of implementing those recommendations. Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you. Now, when we become a board member, first year, I'm sure that we have a pre-elected new board members here. We are going through the education. Because we as a board members, we have a duty to school, teachers, and parents, and most importantly, the students. We are all learning. So we sometimes make a mistake, sometimes we try to push one way or another. But the most important thing as a board member is try to be balanced all the things. Okay? So either you agree with me or not, I'm trying to follow the protocol. I'm saying I understand the parents' concern. In the other end, balancing it, I understand the teachers' roles and hard work and harsh conditions. I understand that too. Some of those things is very hard to determine, but we as a board member, we have to do our best of what we educated as, what we elected as. So that's what we are doing. My job as a president is not bulldozing anything, just leaving into one direction. My job as a board member is just try to run a meeting. So if anybody who say against the meeting itself, I have to speak up, not because I don't like anybody or anything. I'm trying to run in the meeting from the guideline and policy that we have. So that's what has happened. Some people will not like what we are, the way we are conducting the meeting or not, but that's what we are. This is what we are. So that's my conclusion. Anybody else want to respond to anything?
I'm sorry.
As board member only.
Yeah, board
member only.
I feel like I'm in a jail. You have no rights here.
I'm sorry, you can feel whatever you want, that you are right. But I'm trying to run the board meeting the way that we, as a process. Now, anybody want to close for the,
Know how we feel now.
now, we have to do the, closed session.
Yeah, we did.
Yes, okay.
Anybody want to make a
I
motion?
I just want a question that, looks like, still the parents, is not fully satisfied. Anyway, then we just give them one more chance of communicating whatever. I just wondering, because it looks like, as a parents, it looks, remain very unsatisfied, the way we just simply give her, we did, I know we
Okay,
did
I
our best,
understand what
so
you're
I'm just
saying.
asking you.
Is it possible
Yeah,
to do that?
you could suspend the agenda to reopen public session.
If the board members agree, all the board members agree, Okay, you can make a motion to have.
Yeah, I just like to
give-
make a motion to give parents one more chance to communicate her feelings, whatever.
Anybody like to second?
I'll second it.
Okay,
I'll second it.
so we're gonna reopen the audience participation part
Gotta vote.
by the request of
Gotta vote
Mr.
on it
Lim.
first.
Yes,
You gotta vote on first?
please state your name and address one more time for the record.
Sure. Sandlin, 464 Glen Avenue, Palisades Park, New Jersey. I want to mention this about my petition. I did my due diligence. I have all the proof that I was working on with the parent voluntarily, proactively. She was wanting to attend this meeting. Somehow, after she got a numerous phone call from the principal and from the superintendent, I don't know what happened. I haven't not spoken to her. She refused to talk to me. She refused to attend the meeting. I'm not gonna speak in behalf of her because I respect her decision. And second, this is not my assumption. Yesterday I saw the very first school statement from the union attorney who interviewed the local media. According to him, school educate teachers to inform the parents. That right there, first violation. Teacher never informed me to bring the extra clothes for the kindergarten program. Number two, school nurse. This is according to the principal. This is not my assumption. I'm just according to whatever I got the information from the attorney and from the principal. Principal told me school nurse supposed to contact the parent. She didn't. 2 violation. Your staff failed to comply those protocol. That's it. That's all I can say. And our family, I don't understand. Why do I have to, this long, we have to suffer for no reason? Why? Can you explain anyone to me? Why? Why do I have to suffer? When you're explaining, she voluntarily called you? Did she really did that? Can you answer me? Did she really voluntarily call you? I don't think so. I don't think so, Dr. Cirillo. And do not deflect the issue. The problem here is happened inside the school nurse room. School nurse disrespect the student. She did not treat the way she's supposed to treat the student. That's the problem. If you don't want my petition, I can cancel it. This is just a sign of how many parents were so upset about this incident. That's the core of the problem. Please do not deflect my issue, okay? If you want me to go through one by one, I can do it. I have a proof. I did my due diligence. And lastly, principal gave me the false information to the police officer. I have a proof, and she gave me the false information again to me. And after I watched the surveillance camera with you, I find out that was false. So she did not do her due diligence. Here and there's 3 fouls, right? Your staff failed to comply your own protocol. People not coming, sending the child, we don't expect the school running by the common sense, right? Because union attorney yesterday, when he was interviewing the TV, he said, bringing the clothes is no. People, when the parents send the kids, we expect nothing but the best, right? School shouldn't be opponents. School still be an enemy to me, right? That's it. Yeah, that's all.
Thank you. Anybody else have any other audience wants to participate in and speak up? Okay. Anybody wanna respond? Or you wanna say something?
Grace Song, 76 East Ethel Boulevard. I'm very upset. I'm trying not to be emotional.
Thank
But
you.
I'm speaking behalf of Korean Parents Group. We have more than 150 members in our cut-up room, which is all parents of all 3 schools. And then this KPG has been here in this school since you are the first one of the founding member, 20-some years. A lot of parents here still do not speak English, do not know the protocol of the schools. Yes, we are sending our kids to the public school. We're not sending them to the private nursery school or private school who's paying fortunes of money. We are looking for I know the teachers are doing their best. However, can we have some kind of moral? It's not a matter of like or dislike, like Mr. Kim said. We are looking for morality. We're looking for trust base. What is it so difficult for the school nurse to call the parents who are living in this small town to get your daughter's underwear before you pick her up. She was naked, no underwear, walking outside with the nurse, meet the father, and the school teacher, the teacher whose classroom teacher was standing there. Three of the adults were discussed about her situation, and she was therefore feel shamed. Do you think your 5 years old daughter do not know that? Whether it's a special child or not special child knows. If it's your daughter or your son, will you just be accepted and then not be able to, ask it to the teacher? This is not only the Mrs. Lim's position. I've been here so many times. I'm so shameful myself that when I hear those kind of stories about mothers who are complaining, emotionally hurt, disrespectful experience from the nurse, I would just make a very simple phone calls, explain, or maybe I didn't really talk to you about it, but Miss Laura or the Mrs. Julian or Mrs. Diane directly, nicely, would you please talk to them nicely? Would you please, treat them nicely? But this is the first time we have a petition. We are moving. This mothers are in KPG are very upset, and now we are mistreated. I feel like you guys are not hearing us. I understand this is a board meeting. You have a public meeting to run it, but please touch your heart. Please be emotional a little bit about the situation. What 5 years old has been standing there. All we need is there must be a protocol to call, whether it's short pants or no underwear, no clothes, just to call, report, make an instant notice to the parents. Then we'll try to do our best. There is emotion. Okay, thank you very much for listening.
Thank you. Any other addition?
Yeah, this amended suit, I was, because I didn't want to turn everything over and over since I've been presenting to many places and also in the court, whatever. I wanted to say that the reason I sued the school 3 years ago is just because I didn't know how to deal with that. If I knew other people could speak to, if I didn't know anybody else except for the education. I don't know is anybody remember me 4 years ago when I was here? I was neglected. Nobody answered. So I think even better way than just rather than going to the court to bring the discussion to this kind of meeting. So there is a better chance for the school part and the parent part and audience part. There's much better quality of chances that we can improve things together for our children in the town. Yes. The most important thing is that why school thinks their safety first, security first. It has to be same level of protection to the parents. Whenever I brought some problem, incident about my non-verbal child, who even can say any word to protect himself, school always protected themselves first. My child has no right to say anything, any proof. It's all the mother's part. You have to prove 1 to 10. And then it wasn't even one time. It was repetitive. If the cases, I thought it was the best way, just going to the court. That was it. But I don't think this is the best solution. So I always talk to other moms that, okay, you need to avoid that procedure. I don't want you to be like that. It's too much time and the emotion waste of emotion, money. And it affects a lot of family, not just the child and parents, the people around the parents. It affects more than you expected. More people, you might think that would be effective, but it's more. Because of that issue, I had a very horrible years. And that many issues, I even do not wanna talk about it. Because I was asked a lot of things from so many parents even I don't know about from other towns. Because words goes word. I'm still being asked. Because I've thought of it too much. And I would talk too much. But I'm sorry.
Yeah, you have 3 minutes.
Okay, so it's over?
3 minutes over.
Okay, so what
3.5 minutes over.
my conclusion is your security. We are all human beings, so I understand. But when there is incident or accident, please just don't depend too much. You know, that actually aggravates all the procedure and communication between parents and the school. Thank you.
Thank you. Yes, sir.
Paul, can again here. My question's not gonna be 3 minutes, I'm just gonna reiterate what I've heard from you guys today. I asked you guys procedural questions concerning what are the procedures, how is it notified to parent to teacher, all right? And you guys opt not to answer that. That is procedures. This is something that I feel that it was already in place and is set, and the public has a right to know what the procedures are. It's not a personnel issue, it's not a private matter. It's a public information that we requested, but you guys elected not to say. I also wanna make a note that, again, correct me if I'm wrong, you guys said that in lieu of this situation of this incident, we're gonna ask the parents to sign something else. That gives me a question. That kinda makes me assume that there is a issue within the procedures that you guys didn't think about, and you guys wanna just fix that right now. I came here to ask for an opportunity for you to have an opportunity to explain the procedures. If the procedures are okay, I have nothing to say. I'm here about the procedures. And I'm still asking that you guys tell us about the procedures so I could just have a peace of mind and move forward. Thank you.
Thank you. Anybody else? Yes, ma'am.
My name is Yu Bong Won. I'm at 268 Highland Avenue. It seems to me, I don't know why this has to be handled this
Can
way.
you speak out a little bit?
Yeah.
I have some hearing problem.
I don't understand why this kind of instance handled this very hostile way, right? All we have to do is communicate. All of us, there is one common thing. We want to improve the school, right? I think that's a common here. So I think what happened is because there is not really, the protocol exists, but protocol was not enforced. So how can we enforce it, right? At the end of it, that's really how we improve it, right? So I think we are all in same kind of common goal here.
Mm-hmm.
So I think we have a better way to communicate so that we can really improve the school. I mean that's all I'm hearing from everyone. So this shouldn't be. I really don't understand why this has to be handled this very hostile way.
Thank you. Anybody else? Okay, so if nobody have any comments or thing, we are closing a second audience participation. Anybody, board member or anybody want to comment back or anything? Then, any answer you wanna?
I was just making a motion to close on this participation and then back to second.
Second it? Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Thank you, everybody. We are finished.
We are not actually.
We are finished in terms of all this, in terms of open meeting. We still have to do the closed session.
I'd like to make a motion, we go into closed session to discuss the report.
Anybody second? Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. We are going to do the closed session now.